Hey guys and girls, Mark from GN here with my review of the Master Grade Heavyarms EW. This is the fourth kit in the EW line that I've built, and it's my last that I finished in 2020. So welcome to this video from last year. Alright, starting off with the inner frame, basically the same legs and chests as the others, very similar, except for the shoulders and sides of the legs are different. Now that's more for the missile pods attached to each other on the sides of the legs, but it's still the same solid frame. Cockpit in the middle, which is a ball, and pretty detailed for an older frame. Now, just on a side note, here are the screenshots from all four kits I've built now, and I thought it'd be interesting just to show you the inner frames side by side. Sorry Sandrock has my fat fingers in the way, but I go back a year ago, I didn't do the frame the same way I'm doing them now. But if you take a look, you can see the overall similarities in the frames, and when you build them, they'll definitely feel familiar. This could be laziness on Bandai's part, you think, but I think it's more that these Gundams all came from the same design, hence the similarities. It's a cool thing if you're into the lore from the manga or the anime. This is him fully armoured up, and I think it's got a colour scheme that you either love or hate. I prefer the colours of the Heavyarms Custom, the blue and white colours, which I think I'm going to paint this guy, so when I get around to painting all my EW kits, and I've got WIng on the shelf now, I'll probably use a mix of colours, not just the originals from the series. But that's up to you. Red, orange, white, grey, black. I mean, it kind of fits, but just not a huge fan of the orange and red combo. But otherwise, it's a pretty cool looking kit. The accessories. So this had a lot more than I thought when I was breaking it down to look at. So you've got your Trowa Barton standing figure. You've also got one seated in the cockpit. And it's funny, while Heavyarms isn't my favourite suit, I actually do like Trowa as a character. He's pretty interesting, and he's actually the only soldier of the group. Before all of this happened, the others were kids or something like that. I haven't got the full backstories yet. You get your action base adapter. Now, you get the forearm combat knife, which is really cool. It's all grey. That's kind of sucky, but you know, you can just paint it. It just clips in on the side of the forearm there, that peg into the hole. And it rotates forward. It's got some pretty cool looking serrated edges on it, kind of a sharp front edge for plastic, I guess, but that's really cool. Just slap a paint on it and it'll look awesome. Now the shield is really funny. It's literally the most simple shield I've ever seen. It is two pieces together, an inner frame and a red piece. Now I think for mine, I'm probably going to slightly modify it, and it goes on the left arm. I'm probably going to modify mine slightly to take the beam saber on the inside of the shield so I can pose that with the kit. Because otherwise, unless you want to do the scene from the series where Hero is piloting the suit and he ditches the left arm and pulls the beam saber, you have to rebuild that every time you want to pose the beam saber as part of the arm. It's not just a slip-off arm. Probably too technical at the time to deal with. So that's your half of an arm or inner frame arm slash a beam saber. And yeah, you need to take all of that apart, and it was painful to do, doable but painful, if you want to actually, you know, accessorize and use the beam saber. Otherwise, do what I'm doing, find a way to fit it into the shield. Alright, now you get hands. These are the open hands that are on here at the moment. Obviously you got your movable thumb, and then the four fingers are just slotted and they slide into the palm. So you get your two closed hands. You get your two holding hands with the peg. And you get your two open kind of fist hands, holding hands that don't have the peg inside. Now, the beam Gatling gun. This was an interesting one. I see like why people complain about the Kotoki redesign of it, I guess, but here's your canister for the energy, I guess, that it runs off instead of bullets. Like I said, I'm not 100% familiar with this suit, it wasn't my favourite. There are some nasty nubs on the side and a seam, probably fixed when painting. talking about nasty nubs, oh my god. These things are actually solid individual pieces that you thread down that black cable you saw in the unboxing. There's 2 end pieces that clip into the beam Gatling as well as the canister. But down every side, because they're held on by both sides, thanks Bandai, there is nubs. Nub City. This thing is horrific to deal with. No matter how much scraping and sanding and everything I did, you will never fully get it, rid of it. So painting will fix that. Hit the beam Gatling. The beam Gatling's an interesting one. This thing is huge. I'm not quite a fan of the almost like framework around it instead of just the beam Gatling gun, but I see why it's there. It's for handles, it's for looks. The barrel is cool. It's a few pieces together, not just straight pipes. They're actually like a couple of pieces. So this clips in the end here. Either end, same pieces. Now, the connection pieces are loose, so if you're painting, glue that on when you're done so it stays stuck to the cable and doesn't pop out at inopportune times. The other end, just same thing, either end could clip into the beam Gatling gun, it's the same. And there you go. It is slightly harder getting him to hold it, but we'll get around to that. Lastly, the sticker sheet dry transfers and the foil sticker. Foil sticker, you got 2 cameras and the eye sticker. Haven't used, I'll do a reverse wash eventually. You get your dry transfers, which are cool, and then you get a sticker sheet. Articulation. Oh, sorry, first color accuracy. The only parts that aren't color accurate you get stickers for are the eyes and cameras, otherwise it's the shoulder pieces. See how you've got the blue inside the white chest? That is actually 2 separate pieces that clip in from behind. You don't get that for the shoulders. So when painting, or you will have to paint that in for all the orange parts. They don't have any of the blue. Alright, head. He'll look up a pretty good amount. He'll look down a good amount too. Got that extra ball jointed peg thing going on the neck. He'll go side to side a little, which is surprising. Most kits won't. But he won't turn all the way around because the back of the head and neck collar combine, and hit. So that's fine, but they don't really need to. Love that symmetrical looking head. Now, arms have a similar range of motion to previous kits, but the bulky shoulders and chest will limit that a bit. Now he has good arm bend. So the shoulders will go up. And you can go out to the side. Probably not as high as like Deathscythe, Sandrock and Shenlong. And there's a good amount of bend there in the elbow. The hands are just on a ball joint that goes into the end there, and watch it because that grey piece can come flying out when you're changing hands. Alright, on the midsection, he hasn't got a whole lot. You can turn a little, but overall this guy is basically a walking weapons platform. It's not, agility probably isn't his greatest worry. Though surprisingly, Trowa does throw this thing around like he's in the circus, so... Now, I'll grab my little Apple SIM card popping tool to help me here. But you can open up the cockpit. Now, obviously, it's really difficult to see in here, guys, because you have that extra layer of covering for the beam Gatlings on the chest. So that's why you won't be able to see in properly, but it's back there, and I've put the figure in. Now, the side skirts will go up at the side, and they'll, turn a little. The back skirts will go up, will turn. I do like the level of detail. You've got that grey and the red just stuck together there, so you kind of get inner frame on the armour inside. Front skirt, pretty good. And then you've got that gimmick that we all know and love for the legs, the sliding armour on the knee. Pretty chunky legs with those missile pods on the side. Now, you can go up a bit, and you can pretty much kick yourself in the back. Now, The ankles on this one were kind of fixed the way you built it, because the ankle guard and the leg are kind of built around each other, that black grey piece you can see there, so you don't get a whole lot of ankle movement. Side to side, yes, but you can't go, the ankle guard doesn't move a lot. The foot will turn just on a ball joint into a polycap. Now, the other parts I'll talk about here as well, because it was kind of accessories / articulation. This is where we get to painting, and a lot of painting will need to be done. The beam Gatlings, the missile pods, the micro missile pods, the missiles just everywhere on this guy, and guns. It's all grey. It's all in the frame plastic, as you saw in the frame we just looked at before. The front skirt, the side skirt. This guy just has an epic amount of weaponry. Slide those around at the back. There you go. So red, grey, white, silver, whatever you want to paint them, you'll just probably need to grab a tiny brush and some enamel or acrylic paints and go to town. If using enamels, it's not the enamel paint that will eat the parts. You may have to gloss or prime them first, because the enamel thinner that you clean with will eat them. Now, back skirt's got nothing. The micro missile pods on the legs are pretty awesome the way that, so you build everything in tiny pieces down here, but it's pretty awesome the way that it opens up. And when he's standing there, fully opened up with everything showing, you just kind of get that sense like, this is one bad mother you just don't F with. Now obviously that doesn't have him holding the huge beam Gatling gun either. So taking a look at the suit, overall now standing there, closed up, but holding the big beam Gatling gun. I dig it now. After I've built it, I understand why people like it. I'm still more of a close quarter combat fan, like Death Scythe or Sandrock or Shenlong, but I do see the appeal of this kit. Front, back, all angles, it's just bulky. This is just one big thick kit. Here he is, and rotating around, you can get a sense of the shelf presence this is going to take up in your cabinet or your display shelf, wherever you put these guys. If you're aiming to have like a set of 5 for Operation Meteor, so the WIng EW or Verkar, or the TV version, which I'm not a fan of, or the other 4 kits I've done so far, you're going to need a fair bit of space, maybe even some kind of like platform, having some above the others or a stand. Here he is rotating around in front of the kind of a hanger display, just to give it a bit more depth to it. I dig the kit. Like, I wasn't a huge fan to start with, and I've now been converted. Even with the touch-ups, a nub or 2, seam line, colors I'll repaint. I'm just, so good of it. I'm just so glad that I built this kit. Alright, for a comparison, the boy band is almost complete, just wing to go. Check out my other reviews for more info, but overall very similar, just obviously down to the type of suit you choose, whether it's Death Scythe, Sandrock or Shenlong. Side on, and you can see obviously some weapons take up more space than others. I like Shenlong, doesn't really have too much. Death Scythe, I think that's my favourite with all the pointy stuff. Sandrock, I'm actually noticing a year on his ankles seem a little, that's why he's leaning forward at the moment, are weakening a bit. Hopefully that's not a sign of the times. Back on, very similar backpacks, all small, just down to their individual traits of what they're carrying, I guess. So obviously Sandrock has the blades on his backpack, Heavyarms with the canister, Death Scythe just got the extra verniers and stuff, and Shenlong is simple. Alright. I could put this guy on an action base for the review, but I won't. It's pretty solid. It just doesn't scream for it like the other guys do. It's a ground pounder, it's like a tank. If you're a fan of the episode The Sorrowful Battle, you'll love this optional arm piece as seen here. where he's reaching for the beam saber. Unfortunately, they don't give you the option to have the Gatling gun as an arm. Posing with the knife was a bit awkward. So you can attach the shield, I should have said sorry as well, to the Gatling gun on the backpack and hold it all back there. And he stands up with it fine, no issues. The combat knife is kind of hard. The only couple of times I saw him use it was diving into another mobile suit in the series, or when he rotates and spins, you know, really fast using his verniers to slash and destroy a suit like that. It's a bit awkward to pose with, but still a really cool accessory. And that's the end of the review, guys. If you love WIng, you'll love this Master Grade kit. Grab this, and maybe even the iGel. There was an add-on set that was out in the last year. You can get even more guns and missiles. I think you go second Gatling gun. I can't wait to paint these guys up so I can have my version of the Operation Meteor in the colours I like, and, you know, just looking better with all the stickers and stuff. But yeah, check out our channel for more reviews, subscribe, and that's it. I'll be back with another one soon. Thanks guys, catch you later.